Hello and welcome to Sarcastic Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about What Now? It's a stand-up comedy special by Kevin Hart. It was originally released October 2016 and it just came out on Netflix last week. And the stand-up special was played in front of a record crowd in Philadelphia. It was over 50,000 people. To start with, we can talk about the misleading trailer, which is, if anybody has seen it, it almost looks like an action movie, like a James Bond kind of parody or something like that. They don't show any of the stand-up in the trailer at all. Like, obviously there are people who are going to know that it's a stand-up special, but you can also see that people are going to be misled by that trailer. And they actually do have like a parody in the beginning of the movie. It's actually 17 minutes of Kevin Hart playing like the spy character with Halle Berry, and then there's some cameos by Don Cheadle and Ed Helms, and it's pretty funny. They also do like a parody of Equalizer, you know, the scene where he goes into the club and I think he says something like 18 seconds or 20 seconds or something like that, mapping out how long it's going to take him to take out everybody in the room. Kevin Hart does a little parody of that kind of action scene. So that part is funny, and then he gets to the actual stand-up. And in this, he actually has some big screens behind him, which he uses as part of some of his sets, which are pretty funny. They actually make good use of them. So there are quite a few jokes, including like when he starts and he's talking about his new house and how there's a raccoon there that freaks him out at night, and then the lights go out and he shows like his kind of driveway and how dark it is on some of the big screens. And then there's this scene later on where he's talking about how nervous he is when a fan like follows him into the bathroom, and you show on the screens there's like him kind of sitting, and then the screens around him show like a stall. It's kind of funny. It's a good use of those kind of visual aids, which you don't really see in a lot of specials with a lot of comedians. But yeah, and then as far as like the raccoon goes, it's pretty funny. Seeing him talking about making his son take the trash out because he's scared of the raccoon, and if the raccoon shows up, he'll close the door on his son and things like that. He talks about how once somebody's been in an accident, how hard it is to love them, and it really depends on what happens to them and how they're affected and how it affects you, which are funny ways of looking at things. Things that people actually do think, but usually don't say out loud. He talks about like the moving and how it affected his son and daughter because he did move, and how his home isn't handicap accessible for his dad's girlfriend. There's some things where he talks about his wife, and the standard, I heard a voice waking up his wife and telling her to go look instead of him. There's one joke in there where he talks about something scary going on in his home, so he just leaves his family and just leaves. And then comes back the next day. Jokes like that are pretty funny, and he doesn't hit hard on the punchline. It's more of like an offhand comment, like, "Oh, the next day when I came home," that kind of comment. It wasn't like, and then people started laughing because they realized, oh, he left. And that's usually the way he tells jokes. He's not blatant or obvious about the punchlines. He just kind of throws them out there, waits till people laugh, and then explains them afterwards, which is funny. I like that kind of delivery. He talks about his friends and how they're older, so their adventures are less exciting. It's more like things like getting a ping pong table and trying to work that in a small basement and have fun and put bets on the games, and how he doesn't want to tell that to his wife as an excuse of why he is home late, so he just lies to her. And there's some funny conversation about the back and forth while he's away, and the kind of text messages his wife leaves, things like that. There's talk about the sex toys and how they're different for men and women, and how trying as a man to leave one of those sex toy stores with that black bag, and how hard it is to look normal while doing that. He talks about a little adventure he had with some numbing cream, which was interesting. For some reason, whenever he does an impersonation of a woman's voice, and this is Kevin Hart, he does it weird, and I'm not gonna try and repeat it, but it doesn't sound like a woman at all, and I don't know why he uses that voice to try and impersonate women. It's just he uses it in general for all women, and it's the same voice all the time, but it doesn't sound anything like you would think a woman would sound like. And there's a funny thing at the end, which is the way he talks about his first trip to Starbucks, and how penalized he gets for not knowing the lingo or how to speak in a Starbucks. The different sizes, the tall compared to small. Do you want it iced and hot? Do you want it whipped or blended? Do you want it skinny? What kind of milk do you want? And all that. And he has a funny punchline, like he just wanted a latte. He didn't want to bake a cake, that kind of thing. And he talks about how it's like taking a test to try and order something from Starbucks. And then goes on a little rant about how pretentious it is when people try to order from Starbucks, and they have that kind of, I want this, I want that, blah, blah, blah. Soy, I want caramel whips and things like that. It's a funny stand-up. He's got good timing. There is one shot that was actually pretty funny when he was talking about the sex jokes, or it was either the sex jokes or when a fan kind of cornered him in the bathroom, where they show an actual woman in the crowd who's just like completely has a dour face and is shaking her head like she just wants none of this, which I thought was an odd shot to leave in, but it's pretty funny. It's not, I wouldn't say one of his best specials, but it's pretty good. It's definitely worth the watch. It's entertaining. Even that little 17-minute thing at the beginning with Halle Berry, it's funny. There's some things you've seen before, especially when they're sitting at the poker table, kind of parroting Casino Royale, and then at the end they kind of finish it off with Halle Berry showing up, and they do like a little car chase scene at the end. But overall it's very entertaining and definitely worth a watch. I would put it at probably a 7 out of 10. So if you like this video, that is Kevin Hart's What Now on Netflix. If you want to see more videos, like, share, subscribe, or all of the above. Thank you and have a nice day.